Welcome to another episode of our weekly news wrap-up that is a day late because I arbitrarily decided I wanted to start putting these up on Tuesdays instead of Monday. We'll see if I change my mind again. I'll try to actually be consistent with one of them. As usual, I want to start off talking about Nintendo with a rumor that I am honestly very skeptical about, but I want to talk about it because one, a lot of people have been sharing it and a lot of which are hoping it's true because it would be really awesome, but I think it's important to really kind of check your expectations on this, and that is the possibility of the Metroid Prime Trilogy coming to the Switch. The reason for this recent rumor is a Swedish retailer has listed on their website not only a listing for Metroid Prime Trilogy, but also gives it the specific date of June 19th, which is very, very soon considering that we haven't heard anything officially from Nintendo on this. Not just simply whether or not the game's coming out that soon, but even whether or not we're getting that port in the first place. Now, normally I'm already pretty skeptical of leaks that happen this way, but the reason why it's especially a little more weird in this case is that this same website previously leaked that we would be getting a release date for Metroid Prime Trilogy in February and that it would be announced at the Game Awards last year, which obviously did not happen. So the fact that there's already kind of that history of saying this and nothing happening doesn't really help out this current announcement. That being said, I would absolutely love for this to actually happen. I'm, again, very skeptical that it's actually going to be released sometime that soon, but if we could get even any kind of official indication that this is a port that's happening at some point, that would be wonderful. Of course, part of the reason why people are hoping this is true and kind of giving it a little extra attention is because we still don't really know what's going on with Metroid Prime 4. It was announced back when the Switch was first being released, and we haven't really heard anything since then. We got a very quick teaser trailer that was really just the logo and name of the game, and then we got an eventual announcement that the game had been pushed back indefinitely, and we don't really know when it's coming out at this point. The Metroid Prime Trilogy is a fantastic collection of games, and if that were to come out in the meantime, it would be a great holdover while we wait for Metroid Prime 4, and honestly, just that entire franchise makes a lot more sense on the Switch to me, and I would love to have it available there instead of being currently trapped on the Wii and the GameCube for individual releases. Now, there was another game teased this past week that's a little more credible, and another one that I am really, really hoping is true. I actually already talked about this in my Q&A very briefly, but if you didn't watch that video, Ubisoft is kind of teasing that they're bringing back the Scott Pilgrim game. If you never played it before, the Scott Pilgrim game came out shortly after the movie back in 2010, and it was released for 360 and PS3. It was this beat-em-up game that was super fun. It was available on 360 and PS3. However, after some of the licensing went up, the game disappeared. The game was only released digitally, so there was no way to have a physical copy to actually hold on to, and if you missed your chance on buying it while it was available, well, it just disappeared permanently. And in fact, even if you did buy the game previously but didn't have it installed anymore, there's all kinds of extra hoops you have to jump through to actually be able to reinstall it, which is really annoying. Now, the reason why this is being speculated right now is because on Twitter, the writer of Scott Pilgrim, Brian Lee O'Malley, just did a generic tweet saying, "Hey, bring back the Scott Pilgrim game." And in response to that, Ubisoft replied to the tweet with just the thinking emoji. Now, it is possible that this is just the Ubisoft Twitter account having fun, but what's really interesting about this is the fact that they replied to the tweet that didn't actually tag them at all. So maybe Ubisoft's just been following them this whole time and they're having a little fun, or this is an elaborate setup to tease the fact that it is indeed coming back, which I would love very much. This also coincides with the fact that the movie is having its 10-year anniversary, so this might be one other way they're just celebrating that date. Either way, if it does actually happen to come out, I heavily advise you go and buy it because it is so much fun. Going back to Nintendo really quick, while this isn't exactly specifically video game related, I think it's close enough. There has been an update to their upcoming collaboration with LEGO in the form of Mario power-up packs. Now, if you haven't seen anything about this at all, there is an upcoming collaboration between LEGO and Nintendo where they're making these Super Mario sets that have some little extra functionality that you don't normally see in LEGO, and these power packs are a whole new level to that. Basically, the power packs are different suits Mario can wear that are representative of some of the really popular designs from games. A really good example would be the fire suit that you get from the Fire Flower. And while wearing it, it unlocks new functionality. For instance, with the fire suit, you can tilt him forward and it makes the little fireball sound. Alongside this, there's also the propeller hat, the construction outfit that you see from Mario Maker, and the cat suit from Super Mario 3D World, which is of course bringing a lot more speculation and hope that that game is getting ported to the Switch alongside all the other Mario games that have lately been kind of teased and rumored about coming to the Switch in 2020. For those of you interested, the LEGO set does come out on August 1st and is available for pre-order. I'm sure this is going to be one of those things where it disappears a lot faster than a lot of people expect, so if you're interested, maybe start looking into that. As for an actual game with an actual release date, Riot has confirmed the release date for their kind of Overwatch Counter-Strike crossover that is Valorant. The game has been in closed beta for quite some time now and has gotten a lot of coverage, but it's actually going to be opening up to everyone on June 3rd. The closed beta will be ending later this week and it'll be down for just a few days before actually having the full release. The game, much like League of Legends, is free to play, so you can pick it up and play it with no charge whatsoever, but don't worry, I'm sure Riot's got some ideas for how to get your money otherwise. As for one of the weirder stories to come out of this past week, there was leaked footage on YouTube of Gears of War 3 running on a PS3. Now, of course, this hitting the internet raised a lot of questions for a lot of people. Eventually, after enough probing from different news websites, Epic Games made their own official statement on the whole situation, saying that yes, that is something that they actually internally made way back in the day. It wasn't for them to actually work on a Gears of War 3 port to PlayStation, because that would be insane, seeing a first-party Microsoft title come to PlayStation, you know, the chief competitor. That would be kind of cool if we started seeing more crossover like that. But rather, it was really just an internal test on their end to see how Unreal Engine 3 was working on PS3. Crazy thing to see, and a cool bit of history to learn, but at the end of the day, those respective companies are keeping their games in their own fields for now. Speaking of PlayStation, this past week they also revealed that they are once again doing Days of Play. This is a yearly event they hold that would normally coincide with E3, but obviously E3 isn't happening now, but it's a bunch of different sales they'll be doing to celebrate this time of year by having a bunch of accessories, games, all kinds of stuff on discount. Some of these are already starting to happen in retailers, but as far as digital sales and stuff directly from Sony goes, that'll all be starting on June 3rd. Now, the deals alone are awesome, but what's really interesting about this is how it lines up with another rumor that's been going on lately, which is that we might be seeing an official PS5 reveal event on June 4th. This is a rumor that's been coming from multiple sources, all claiming that this is an event that will be happening. Sony themselves have not said anything about this, but considering Days of Play starts on June 3rd, it wouldn't be that crazy for them to have their own reveal event on June 4th. Of course, Sony was not going to be attending E3 this year, but it would still make a lot of sense if, while not at E3 proper, they still may have had this kind of announcement lined up in the works to do alongside or shortly after, shortly before. A lot of people are obviously waiting to find out more about the PS5. Sony has been very tight-lipped compared to Xbox. Really the coolest, most recent thing we got a sight of was that Unreal Engine 5 tech demo, which was specifically said to be running on a PS5. So hopefully that's all going to actually happen and we'll get some reveals not only of more games, but even see what the PS5 looks like. Fingers crossed. As for game releases this week, there's quite a bit going on in terms of both DLC and some ports. Tons of stuff for the Switch. To begin with, today is going to be the release of the Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath DLC. This is a pack that adds 3 new characters, one of which is RoboCop, which is amazing.
You are under arrest, dirtbag.
They're re-adding friendships, which I absolutely love, and this is the first DLC NetherRealm has released, which actually adds a whole new story section of the game, which hopefully by the time this video is live, I'll already be done playing through it because that's the first thing I'm doing this morning. Well, not this morning. The morning you're watching this video, not the morning I'm shooting this. You get the idea. As for Friday, we are getting a lot of Switch ports all at the same time. To begin with, there are 3 different collections coming from 2K. There is a Borderlands collection, BioShock collection, and XCOM 2 all coming out, which are all fantastic games and really, I think, all find pretty good homes on the Switch, and I'm very excited to actually play and try them out. On that same day, we're also getting a first-party release in the form of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, one of the games I have been most looking forward to this year. This is not just simply a port of the hit Wii game, which there was a port on the 3DS as well, but rather this is a remaster, remake, depending on how you want to define it. The point is, the game looks prettier while running at some of the same lower resolutions that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 did on the Switch, and also features the addition of a whole new ending section that adds a bunch more hours to an already very, very long game. Honestly, this Friday is looking to be a very, very good day to be a Switch owner, so if you've been looking for something new to play, definitely give one of these many titles a look. That's it for the big news stories this week and what games to look forward to coming out. As always, you can also follow me on Twitter at Kevin Kenson, where you can see my reactions to news as it's happening, as well as right now I'm doing this kind of day-to-day thing talking about what game music I really enjoy. So yeah, check that out. I'll see you guys next Tuesday with another weekly roundup like this one. Until then, I'll see you guys later.